following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the Morgan Man Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, Esports, covering Rostermania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Stuff goes through, and Stuff snaps, wins the one-on-one, and Optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get the show started. What's going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you're listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Good Pod HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Call of Duty League 2023/24 Rostermania, and it's been a super crazy one here lately. So I'm going to go over all that with you guys. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Atlanta Falcons Training Camp Day 1 that was open to the public. So without any further delay, let's go get straight into today's action. All right, guys, so hopping right into it, we are talking about the Call of Duty League Rostermania for the 23-24 CDL season. So sources are confirming right now that Minnesota is targeting a roster of Accuracy, Awakening, Vivid, and Lens for the 23-24 CDL season. Contracts have yet to been signed, but this is the four that they want, and it's looking very positive. That's from Jacob Hill on Twitter. And then these are your confirmed and rumored rosters I'll be going over, and this is from at Intel CDL. Confirmed teams: the Atlanta FaZe is Abeezy, Simp, Cilium, and Draza. Definitely, big one right there. The Toronto Ultra, Scraps, Kleenex, Insight, and Envoy. Partially confirmed teams: the Boston Breach, Snoopy, Slasher, Priesta, and then plus one more. Subliners: Hydra, Kismet, Skies, and Sib. That is a partially confirmed. Optic is Dashy, Shotzi, Pred, Kenny. And then, of course, rumored teams: Rocker, which I just went over, Awakening, Accuracy, Vivid, Lens. And the Los Angeles Thieves: Ghosty, Cammy, Afro, and Joe Deceives, if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. Looking over all these rosters, ladies and gentlemen, just the names alone. Rocker don't look too promising this year. I could be wrong, maybe like a mid-card team. Thieves definitely is going to be taking a downgrade right here. Boston definitely has the potential to be a top 5. Subliners definitely, again, it's going to be a top tier team. Optic, they're questionable. They lost their head coach to the Seattle Surge, which was Rambo. So he's coaching for them now, and Optic is now without a head coach until, they confirm it, and it might be today or tomorrow of this recording. But now for your confirmed teams, the Toronto Ultra is definitely looking very scary. They really are. I mean, you got Envoy, who was 2022 World Champ, Kleenex, Insight, Scrap. I mean, these guys are phenomenal. And then, so you add an Envoy to that roster, this could be a top 2, top 3 team right here. And for the Atlanta FaZe squad, this is a team that can win multiple world championships with Abeezy, Simp, Cilium, and Draza. Now, of course, those 3 plus Arcides did win the 2021 World Championship, but then failed to do so, the next year, and then this past year to finish in top 3. But still, FaZe is a dynasty that is currently going on right now. And then you have Draza, who is one of the highly anticipated best players of all time, coming to the Atlanta FaZe roster. This is insane. And I brought up questions, multiple times on previous podcast episodes. Is the Simp and Draza feud really done with? How are they going to coexist in the same room? Well, apparently this squash has been beefed. sorry, this beef has been squashed, and Simp is all up for Draza being an Atlanta FaZe member. You know, because I checked his Twitter immediately right whenever Draza was announced. And, you know, Simp put in there, you know, hey, let's LFG, you know, let's fucking go for someone who lives under a cave. But yeah, he just put LFG, let's get it, let's get this chip. And Draza retweeted it and, you know, said, yeah, fuck yeah, man, let's do it. So I love to see that because those two talents right there alone, I think will be a deadly combo for the entire Call of Duty League teams to watch out for. Especially, yeah, Draza is going to be a main target. And if BZ plays like he did this past year in MW2 onto MW3, BZ's going to be a beast. This whole team is going to be just god tier. Cilium is always going to be that top tier gunny. Simp's always going to be a top tier SMG player. A BZ SMG right there. I mean, Draza flex, maybe put Cilium at flex. I don't know. Just this entire squad is looking very promising. Now going over to back to the Boston Breach with Priesta. This was reported by @Intel CDL on Twitter. Priesta says he wasn't dropped due to contract issues, and they would have immediately figured out that out. The team just ultimately decided to go in another direction. So it was kind of just a mutual thing right here. Hey, look, you know, thanks for the world title. I'm going to go try it somewhere else. And New York Southern's like, all right, appreciate you. Thank you for your service. And we'll catch you next year on another team. And that other team is the Boston Breach. So, yeah, guys, I mean, this is pretty much Rostermania, you know, just summed up in one little bits of audio right here under 7 minutes or a little bit more right here. I know I've been missing out so much because I've been taking a month off from podcasting. So I'm back full time now, and you know, hell, let's get it, man. So when we come back after this commercial break that I have just recently done up, we will be talking Atlanta Falcons news from training camp day one that was open to the public. And guys, you might hear a little bit of like audio clips from the wireless microphone I got for my phone specifically to record at the event. So some of these audio clips will be sounding a little bit different, but I will be trying my best to make it sound as good as possible whenever I get back into my editing software. So again, I will catch you guys after this quick commercial break talking Atlanta Falcons day one training camp. Do you want to take your podcasting or gaming to the next level? If so, I got the perfect solution for you. Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you my 2 podcast notebook planners and gaming journal. The gaming journal, guys, is perfect for any ideal gamer that is looking to log in all of their achievements, all of their video games stored in one single notebook. And for my podcasting folks, guys, if you want to just start off without all the tips and tricks, anything like that, I got the simple podcast notebook planner. It's got the simple designs, the lines across for you to write your show notes, titles, anything else that you need to write. And to go just a little bit more into detail, ladies and gentlemen, I got the podcast notebook planner with 10 pages of tips and tricks. These tips and tricks right here, ladies and gentlemen, will help you grow your podcast to more heights in the downloads, the listens, the average consumer time. And if you want that right now, ladies and gentlemen, please head to my Amazon KDP store and order these books today. I also got a monthly budget planner and a life motivational planner for you guys to check out as well. But these are the main 3 I'm strongly promoting right now because this is the niche of my podcast, is podcasting and gaming. So again, guys, head over to my Amazon KDP store today and grab your podcast notebook planners and your gaming journal. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, we are back from the commercial break right here, and we are talking Atlanta Falcons day one of training camp that was open to the public on Thursday, July 27th, 2023 at 9:30 this morning. So guys, if you followed my Twitter, definitely I kept you posted as much as I could and try to, sneak in a little video and photos here and there, because this time around, video and audio recordings was, not available. Like, they had signs posted up saying, you will be prohibited from recording video or recording audio, just for, I guess, the safety of the players and the coaches of protecting like their playbook near about it. And so I understand that, but the media definitely was still able to post some things, and I said to myself, next year I'm on the other side of that rope, and that's what I'm working towards this year, ladies and gentlemen, is to grow this podcast as much as I can and be on the other side of that rope come this time next year at Falcons Training Camp. So let's go ahead and get into some of the information today, ladies and gentlemen. So the things that I observed from this training camp for day one that was open to the public. The defense is coming to play, for sure. The defense definitely had a few stops on the offense and was able to deflect balls, get interceptions on Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, you name it, right in there. Bijan Robertson, he's definitely a dual threat weapon for the Atlanta Falcons. He's running back, wide receiver. I mean, whatever position Arthur Smith is going to put him in, he's going to be electrifying pretty much. And then Jeff Okudah is coming for blood this season. He's definitely a great player. He got a lot of great plays on the offense from his defensive side of perspective. And guys, this is legit. Those are really great things you want to see right there. Drake London definitely was working on some drills this morning. Grady Jarrett, and this is coming from the press conference earlier today. It's a new experience being one of the oldest, most experienced players on the team, but it's also nice to have those type of guys in every room with veterans we've added this year. Desmond Ridder, day 2 update. Sharp on the short and intermediate passes. Jonas Smith and Nicole Pruitt have been favorite targets thus far, and a lot of stuff over the middle has been working. But the deep throws is just not connecting at this early of a stage for Desmond Ridder, and that's got to be something that needs to be fixed right now instead of like week 5 of the regular season. And also another little camp update. There was no 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 recording allowed this year as well. And this is a way that I believe the NFL is going to be headed more towards. And then Arthur Smith on the offense thus far. We've had a couple of bad snaps on the 2 false starts. Those are all lessons, hard lessons that could cost us in game. That's why we practice. A lot of times it's the young guys. That stuff you just got to fix. And then Arthur Smith was also asked about last year's games that costed them the team points. Reinforcers that he expects Atlanta to be the least penalized team in the NFL and the most effective in the red zone. So definitely he's looking forward to this year as well, being the least penalized and trying to score as many touchdowns as they possibly can. Calais Campbell is about 10 days out. So it sounds like we won't have Calais for the first part of training camp going forward. Bradley Pinion also had a personal thing come up, and he was not at practice today. And then Arthur Smith is talking about Desmond Ridder again right here. Ridder keeping the ball on one play when Nicole Pruitt was open deep downfield. Ridder was pressured, and that forced him out of the pocket. He wants Desmond Ridder to be more aggressive and take that shot, and the offensive line to block it up better. And Arthur Smith definitely on the defense. The defensive line absolutely feels different this year's. Size-wise, depth, I love that energy both on the offensive line and defensive line. So the lines are absolutely great. It's sounding like, this is what Arthur Smith expected for the season to go forward. But now it's starting to work on your receiving core and your quarterback to start making those plays happen. Again, like with Nicole Pruitt and Desmond Ridder. look, McCole Pruitt was open downfield. I actually remember this play. And then Desmond Ridder had to run because he was under pressure. You just got to take those shots. Yes, it might result in an interception, but hey, if the defense is stepping their game up this year, then definitely go for it. Because if the defense can get you back on the field under maybe, let's just say, 3 to 4 minutes, that's perfect, because then you got another opportunity and you learned from that mistake. So overall, guys, I give day one a B+ right here. There's a lot of learning curves, obviously, that is going to happen for this year or for this period of training camp. But really, I think what's going to happen is the more Desmond Ridder is starting to learn the actual plays, the routines of everything, and actually get a game in against the Miami Dolphins when they play, I believe, in 2 more Fridays, something like that, then Desmond Ridder is going to start just clicking left and right. And I believe that's what's going to help him to get that in-game experience back in him instead of just practicing against his own teammates. Going back to Bijan, definitely, guys, he's a dual threat player for the running back position and wide receiver. He's almost like the Deebo Samuel of the Atlanta Falcons right here. So definitely this is very great for the Atlanta Falcons moving forward. Great legs, great movement and everything. But there definitely needs to be a wide receiver too, because we do have Drake London being wide receiver number 1, but we definitely need a wide receiver number 2. And we could definitely pick that up right now if we can, or we could trust the young guys to start stepping their game up. It's just how it's going to be. I look at Scotty Miller coming at that number 2 position, maybe number 3 position overall. But still, wide receiver core, Drake London's got it locked down for the first spot right there, but just needs someone else on the other side of the formation. So guys, what do you give the Atlanta Falcons for, as far as like grade wise, what do you give them for day 1 of training camp that was open to the public? Everybody get to see what the Atlanta Falcons look like right now. And of course, as the camp progresses even more, they will get better. But guys, that is all the time I have for today's episode. I'm sure if you did enjoy it, if you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Belly Up Sports Media Network. I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and I'm checking out for the day. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.